Silent power flows where few dare to look. In the quiet corners of your mind lies the first battleground, a place where true mastery is born. Most people search for control in the world around them, yet the greatest warriors begin by turning inward. Here, you will learn the art of observing yourself without judgment, seeing every thought, every emotion, every fleeting impulse as a mirror reflecting your true nature. Shaolin masters have long understood that knowing oneself is the cornerstone of strength. This is not just training of the body. It is the cultivation of clarity, discipline, and an unshakable presence. In this video, you will uncover ancient techniques of self-awareness that have been guarded within the Shaolin temples for centuries. You will discover how to transform fear into courage, how stillness in motion can sharpen the mind, and how breath can become a bridge between your inner world and the chaos outside. These are teachings often hidden behind the walls of tradition, practiced silently by monks who understood that mastery is less about force and more about harmony. By the end of this journey, you will see your patterns, understand your impulses, and begin shaping the self in ways that few have experienced. Stay with me through each lesson, and you will learn not only to refine your mind and body, but to awaken the quiet strength that lies dormant within. Welcome to our channel, The Limitless Shaolin, where ancient wisdom meets modern life. Subscribe now and step into the path of true self-mastery. Every morning, before the sun rises, the temple courtyard is empty, yet the air hums with quiet intent. Years of repetition have shaped the monks who walk here, each step deliberate, each breath measured. Mastery is not granted in a moment of brilliance, nor won in grand gestures. It is forged slowly, in the rhythm of consistent effort, in the small actions repeated day after day. A single movement practiced 1,000 times becomes second nature, and a single thought observed 1,000 times becomes clarity. These small, intentional routines, whether in meditation, in the precise flow of a form, or in the silent study of sacred texts, are the threads that weave the fabric of inner strength. Discipline, often misunderstood as punishment or rigidity, is in truth the quiet shaping of character. It is the unseen force that molds patience, sharpens focus, and cultivates resilience. A monk does not awaken one day to perfection. Each day he meets resistance, fatigue, and distraction, yet he returns to his practice without complaint. The repetition itself becomes a teacher. The mundane, when approached with awareness, reveals hidden truths. The mind that wanders can be tamed, the body that tires can endure, and the spirit that doubts can grow. In this way, effort is transformed into mastery, and mastery into freedom. Each deliberate act, no matter how small, becomes a seed planted deep within the self. Over time, these seeds grow into an unshakable presence, a silent power that carries through both stillness and action. The path of mastery is never flashy, but it is steadfast, quiet, and profound. Those who embrace it discover that the true reward is not in external achievement, but in the unwavering strength cultivated within. In the quiet of the temple, a monk moves through the courtyard, each step measured, deliberate, yet flowing with ease. There is a rhythm to his motion, a harmony between effort and surrender, between energy and rest. Shaolin teachings have long held that true mastery is found in the balance of movement and stillness. The body in motion is a mirror of the mind. When every gesture is mindful, even the simplest task becomes a practice of presence. Walking, sweeping, or performing forms, the mind must remain alert yet undisturbed, fully engaged yet free from distraction. This is the art of mindfulness in action, a practice that sharpens both focus and calm. Yet stillness is not absence. In meditation or silent reflection, the mind learns to settle, to observe without clinging, to witness the currents of thought without interference. It is in this stillness that clarity arises, like water slowly clearing after a storm. And clarity is the foundation of wise action. A decisive strike, a calm word, a measured response, all flow naturally from a mind trained to see clearly and act without hesitation. Shaolin masters understood that power is not always loud or forceful. It is disciplined, restrained, and rooted in awareness. In life beyond the temple walls, this balance remains essential. Moments of movement, our work, our choices, our interactions gain strength when grounded in mindful stillness. Moments of stillness, our reflection, our solitude, our patience, gain purpose when tested in action. The two are inseparable, like inhale and exhale, like shadow and light. Mastery emerges not from speed or noise, but from the harmony of body, mind, and spirit, where every motion carries intention, and every pause carries wisdom. In learning to move and to rest with equal awareness, the self becomes steady, resilient, and free. In the stillness of the temple hall, the sound of a single, deep breath resonates like a bell through the body. Breath is not merely air moving in and out. It is the bridge between the mind, the body, and the spirit. Shaolin masters have long understood its power, using it to anchor attention, regulate energy, and cultivate presence. When the mind races or the heart trembles, a controlled breath becomes a tether, grounding the self in the moment and dissolving the chaos within. Each inhale draws in calm, each exhale releases tension, and with every cycle, awareness deepens. Through breath, emotions are observed rather than feared. Anger, fear, or doubt can rise. But the steady rhythm of inhalation and exhalation transforms turbulence into clarity. The body responds in kind, heart rate slows, muscles relax, and a quiet alertness settles into the mind. This is not a quick fix. It is a discipline refined over years, a subtle practice that strengthens presence and fortifies the spirit. The Shaolin Way teaches that mastery is not in resisting fear or exerting force, but in aligning breath, intention, and action. In moments of challenge, whether in training or in life, breath becomes the silent guide. A master poised in a duel, or a monk performing intricate movements, relies on breath to harmonize energy and maintain composure. The outer world may demand speed, power, or reaction, but the inner world remains centered, unshaken, aware. Breath teaches patience and precision, showing that true strength is quiet, deliberate, and rooted in balance. In learning to move with the rhythm of breath, the self becomes steady, the mind sharp, and the spirit resilient. A living testament to the ancient wisdom that the simplest force within can shape the vastness of life. In the quiet moments before dawn, the world seems suspended, yet life flows relentlessly onward. Shaolin teachings remind us that challenges, desires, and attachments are like clouds drifting across the sky, ever changing, never permanent. A monk may face hunger, fatigue, or uncertainty, yet he does not clutch at comfort nor recoil from difficulty. He observes each sensation, each thought, each emotion as it arises, letting it pass without grasping or resisting. In this practice of mindful detachment, the self learns a subtle art to engage fully without losing balance, to act without being bound. Desires, whether for recognition, pleasure, or control, can blind the mind. They stir longing and distraction, pulling attention outward, but when observed without clinging, they reveal their impermanent nature. Life's hardships, too, carry lessons that only the detached mind can perceive. Pain, disappointment, or fear are not enemies to be fought, but teachers to be understood. In witnessing rather than reacting, the mind remains clear, the spirit steady. This is not coldness or indifference. It is freedom, the ability to move through the world unshaken, guided by insight rather than impulse. Through centuries, Shaolin masters have cultivated this inner balance, understanding that true power lies not in controlling circumstances, but in mastering oneself. By observing without attachment, the self gains space to respond wisely, to act with integrity and purpose. The currents of life may be unpredictable, yet the mind that embraces impermanence and detachment remains like a still lake, reflecting the world without distortion. In this space of clarity, freedom arises naturally, and with freedom comes the strength to live with intention, courage, and unwavering presence. The path of mastery is found not in clinging to what passes, but in embracing the transient nature of all things with awareness and grace. In the shadowed halls of the temple, a young monk pauses before the challenge ahead. His heart quickens, a tremor of fear rising unbidden. Fear is a companion to all who seek growth, an ancient signal of the unknown, warning of danger yet also pointing toward opportunity. Shaolin philosophy does not teach avoidance, it teaches recognition. Fear, when faced with calm awareness, loses its power to control. Each step into uncertainty becomes a lesson in courage. Each moment of trembling becomes a seed of insight. To confront fear is not to deny it, but to understand it. The mind trained in the Shaolin way observes fear like a passing storm, noting its intensity, its patterns, its causes, without surrendering to panic. In this observation, fear begins to shift. It transforms into a guide, revealing where the mind clings, where the body resists, and where the spirit is untested. The monk learns to breathe through the tension, to move with steadiness, to act with precision. What once paralyzed now instructs, what once limited now expands the boundaries of mastery. Growth emerges not in comfort, but in the spaces where the heart meets challenge. Every moment of stepping into discomfort, whether in training, in thought, or in life, strengthens the self. The body becomes resilient, the mind becomes sharp, and the spirit gains depth. Shaolin wisdom reminds us that courage is cultivated through action, not proclamation, and that mastery grows quietly, hidden within the moments where fear is acknowledged and transcended. In embracing the unknown, in walking willingly into what unsettles us, the self learns its true capacity, and the path of inner strength unfolds, steady, disciplined, and luminous. In the quiet of the monastery garden, the world seems pared down to its essence, the rustle of leaves, the rhythm of breath, the gentle flow of water. Shaolin teachings have long emphasized that complexity clouds the mind, like fog over a mountain path. When thoughts multiply and desires accumulate, clarity is lost. The mind becomes restless, energy dissipates, and the self drifts. Simplicity, however, acts like the morning sun, lifting the fog and revealing the path that was always there. Life within the temple is a study in minimalism. Every movement, every word, every thought is intentional. The monks speak little, act deliberately, and carry few possessions. They recognize that distraction is the enemy of presence, and excess dims the light of awareness. By stripping life down to essentials, they cultivate a mind that is clear, a heart that is steady, and a spirit that is resilient. This simplicity does not mean deprivation. It means focus, alignment, and harmony. In silence and restraint, subtle truths emerge, truths that are lost in noise and clutter. Applying this principle to the self, desires and distractions are examined and released. Cravings for approval, attachments to outcomes, and endless mental chatter are observed and gently let go. What remains is a mind unburdened, a heart unshaken, and a self capable of decisive, intentional action. Power grows not from accumulation, but from clarity, and clarity is born from simplicity. The ancient masters understood that in reducing the unnecessary, the essential shines brighter. In learning to live with less, to speak with purpose, and to act with precision, the self discovers freedom, strength, and an inner authority that cannot be shaken by the turbulence of the world. Through simplicity, the path of mastery becomes visible, steady, and luminous. In the early hours of the courtyard, the monks move with quiet precision, their bodies tracing lines of strength and balance, their minds perfectly aligned with each motion. True self-mastery is not found in thought alone, nor in physical skill alone. It is holistic, a seamless union of mind and body. Every stance, every shift of weight, every controlled breath becomes an exercise not just of the muscles, but of attention, patience, and will. The body is not merely a vessel, it is a teacher, a mirror reflecting the state of the mind. Through disciplined movement and posture, the mind learns resilience. A rigorous form practiced repeatedly teaches patience, focus, and endurance. Fatigue tests resolve, and repetition cultivates steadiness. In this way, physical training becomes a gateway to mental strength. When the body is present, alert, and balanced, the mind follows, and the self learns to act with clarity and calm under pressure. Awareness of the body, how it holds tension, how it responds to stress, how it moves in harmony with the environment, anchors presence and sharpens attention. Even the smallest gesture, performed with mindful intent, reinforces the connection between thought and action. The ancient masters knew that willpower is forged in these moments of alignment. Discipline is not imposed from the outside, it is cultivated from within. through the conscious coordination of mind and body. A strong, flexible body fosters a mind that is steady and clear. A mindful mind guides the body with grace and precision. Together, they form the foundation of mastery, an unshakable presence that endures through challenge, uncertainty, and change. In learning to inhabit the body fully, to move deliberately, and to breathe with awareness, the self becomes grounded, resilient, and capable of sustaining strength, clarity, and purpose in every action. In the quiet halls of the temple, a young monk bows deeply, not in submission, but in recognition of something far greater than himself. True mastery is not measured by ego, power, or dominance over others. Shaolin wisdom teaches that the heart of strength lies in humility, in the willingness to learn from every moment and every person encountered along the path. Even the smallest act, the simplest word, or the harshest challenge holds a lesson if approached with openness and awareness. The masters understood that pride clouds perception. Those who seek to prove themselves often miss the subtle truths that whisper in silence. Humility, on the other hand, allows the mind to remain flexible and the spirit receptive. It is in this state that growth becomes continuous, and mastery unfolds not as a goal, but as a living, evolving process. Each day, each encounter, becomes a teacher. A difficult student, a fleeting thought, a sudden obstacle all offer insights into patience, clarity, and self-discipline. To resist these lessons is to resist the path itself. To embrace them is to walk steadily toward deeper understanding. The practice of humility does not diminish strength, it refines it. The Shaolin approach balances discipline with openness, rigor with awareness, action with reflection. By shedding attachment to recognition or victory, the self gains freedom to observe, to adapt, and to improve. Every movement, every breath, every thought can be a practice in learning, if one remains present and attentive. Through this lens, life itself becomes a teacher, and mastery becomes less about accumulation of skill and more about cultivation of insight. In honoring humility and embracing the lessons hidden in each moment, the self grows steadily, quietly, and profoundly, embodying the wisdom that has guided the masters for centuries. In the early light of the monastery, even the smallest acts carry weight. The careful sweep of the courtyard, the measured steps along the stone paths, the silent tending of a garden. Mastery is not hidden in grand gestures or fleeting triumphs. It is expressed through meaningful action, in the attention and care brought to each moment. Shaolin wisdom teaches that the outer world reflects the inner state. When life is aligned with values, mindfulness, and intention, every action becomes an extension of the self, a visible expression of discipline and presence. Daily life, though seemingly ordinary, offers countless opportunities for mastery. Preparing tea, carrying water, or performing a form, all can be practiced with awareness. When movement is intentional, thought is clear, and heart is steady, even the simplest tasks radiate purpose. Each act, however small, becomes a reflection of inner harmony, a testament to the quiet strength cultivated through years of practice. The monks understand that greatness is not in seeking recognition, but in allowing the self to shine naturally through deeds performed with integrity and care. Meaningful action also requires consistency. A mind grounded in intention carries itself through challenge with patience and focus. The body, trained and aware, supports the spirit, making every movement deliberate and every choice thoughtful. Through this alignment, life becomes a continuous practice of mastery, where the ordinary is transformed into the extraordinary, simply by the presence of attention and intention. In learning to live this way, the self discovers a deep freedom. Freedom from chaos, from distraction, and from the pull of habit. Mastery is not an abstract ideal, but a living practice, revealed in each purposeful act, flowing naturally from a mind that is steady, a heart that is present, and a spirit committed to walking its path with clarity and grace. Self-mastery is not found at a finish line, but in the steady, deliberate journey of awareness, discipline, and alignment. The wisdom of Shaolin teaches us to balance stillness with action, simplicity with strength, and courage with humility, showing that true power grows quietly within. By observing ourselves deeply, refining our habits, and living each day with intention, we begin to embody the lessons of the masters and awaken the potential that has always been within us. Take these teachings into your daily life, approach each task with presence, meet each challenge with calm, and let every moment become a step toward inner mastery. May your journey be steady, your mind clear, and your spirit peaceful. If this path resonates with you, join our community, like this video, and subscribe to the Limitless Shaolin, where ancient wisdom meets the life we live today.